Okay, so we're back, and I'm gonna try and get the true ending for this chapter, and it's fine. You know, you gotta convict your client in order to save your client. Phoenix Wright way. So we're gonna say she was looking for something. That's because she has been looking for stuff. Looking for stuff? Please look again at the content of the mail. So sorry to force you to do so much. Come to audiovisual room of East Schoolhouse at 1800. I will delete all of them there. Please pay attention to this place. I will delete all of them there. This sentence. We don't understand if you only repeat this sentence. No, by this sentence alone you won't know anything. But there is someone who might have witnessed some scenes which are related to this sentence. Who is this person? That person is... let's see. No. I wanna... I don't know. My first instinct was the twins, because they saw Rabbit in the phones. This is the person. Tweedle Twins said so. At the end of April, White Rabbit has taken out Queen of Hearts' cell phone from the bag in the classroom of 2nd grade class 3. 2nd grade when no one was there. And she took some time to operate the cell phone. White Rabbit is taking Queen of Hearts' cell phone? Yes, normally people wouldn't want anyone to look into their own cell phones. Why would you leave your cell phone alone in your bag in your room then? Personal information, messages and photos. What if there is something you don't want others to see? Also, password protect your phone. If those information is taken hostages, they would become the owner's weakness. The information has taken hostages. I see. Hostages. You mean data that the owner doesn't want to show. I am afraid those data who's transferred to White Rabbit, those are enough to be hostages. According to this assumption, Queen of Hearts, the bully, and the incident all linked together. Dramatic. Miss Card Soldier. At the end of April, White Rabbit took out Queen of Hearts' cell phone from her bag and checked the content. This new music? We don't know whether White Rabbit had taken photos or transferred the data. In certain ways, White Rabbit has taken all the data as Queen of Hearts' weakness. White Rabbit treated those data as threatening materials and requested Queen of Hearts to do something. If Queen of Hearts listened to her request, she would delete all the data. This might be the deal. Tweedle Twins have seen White Rabbit checking Queen of Hearts' cell phone at the beginning of May. We don't know what requests White Rabbit made. Anyway, her requests were fulfilled and she told Queen of Hearts to come and she would delete all the data that she used as threatening material. That is why White Rabbit contacted Queen of Hearts. Queen of Hearts certainly followed her direction since White Rabbit had something on Queen of Hearts. If not so, she wouldn't stay at the school for 2 hours after the class ends. When Queen of Hearts went to audiovisual room at 1800 as promised, she was astonished. Because White Rabbit was already dead in audiovisual room. To Queen of Hearts, it was a tragedy. I mean, was it, if this girl had been blackmailing her? In front of her, there was the body, but there was something Queen of Hearts needed to do. Something. That was why the whole situation had gone wild. Queen of Hearts didn't want anyone else to find the data. She didn't want anyone to know. She wanted to avoid one situation, which is to have someone look at the data and make it public. For this reason, she searched for White Rabbit's cell phone using White Rabbit's gloves. So was it a suicide? Using White Rabbit's gloves? That's right, Queen of Hearts, who was asked to be there, had to confirm whether the data is deleted. But if she just looked into it like that, she would leave her fingerprints on the cell phone. That is why she used White Rabbit's gloves and looked into her stuff. So, are you saying that the gloves originally belonged to the victim? Yes. Why do you know about that? As I heard from all kinds of people about White Rabbit. I think she has germophobia.
When did we hear this?
Hiding the wounds.
Have the impression that she is extremely afraid of cold. We heard none of this. All these different opinions. I am curious about what all of these impressions imply to you. Am I crazy? I'm so sure we did not hear any of these things.
Afraid of cold, germophobia, hiding the wounds.
That's right, we can conclude that White Rabbit has been wearing gloves always, which made very good sense. You'd think someone would have pointed that out, though, if that were the case.
It sounds reasonable. Why wear gloves in the spring? It is not winter now. Why did the victim wear gloves habitually?
I haven't figured out that yet. But the fact is she had been wearing gloves quite often that everyone was conscious of. Except me, apparently. We can confirm this if we investigate. Exactly, the reasons why there were no fingerprints, this is actually quite simple. At first, White Rabbit wore the gloves. Queen of Hearts then wore White Rabbit's gloves to look for White Rabbit's cell phone. We know the story until then, but did Queen of Hearts really need to wear the gloves? She could have used a handkerchief or something, as long as her fingerprints were not on the stuff. You can't operate a phone with a handkerchief. I mean, I've tried. It's very hard. Could you use a handkerchief to find efficiently or operate a cell phone? If someone came, all were in vain. If I were Queen of Hearts, I would like to leave the crime scene as soon as possible. I would just take the phone. So, Queen of Hearts needed to confirm whether the data in the cell phone was deleted. If not, she needed to do it herself. However, even though she did have the chance to check, she walked out of East Schoolhouse with the gloves on her hands. Queen of Hearts was confused and troubled by how to deal with the gloves. Why would she leave with the gloves on? She eventually threw them away at Courtyard, which locates between East Schoolhouse and South Schoolhouse. See, I would have, taken them home or burned them, anything but put them someplace obvious. Then rushed to Student Guidance Room to report to Mr. Caterpillar. Your assumption seems to be reasonable, but I can hardly understand what is so important that one needs to find so desperately in a crime scene with a body lying there. It may seem trivial to us, but probably very important to the person herself. Enough. Stop it. Oh, if you said so, do you have the remotest idea what is so important? I don't, but I'm gonna say we do, because that's how it goes. This is only my conjecture. Oh, why don't you tell us? What Queen of Hearts was hiding so desperately is... I don't know. So apparently we have to present Mr. Caterpillar. If we say we don't know, we get the good ending. Just now, we talked about that Queen of Hearts had gone to Student Guidance Room instead of Staff Office. I was always suspicious of him. Yes, indeed. The twins had been in front of Staff Office, so we know it would be a lie if one claimed not seeing anyone. Isn't that a statement to fill in the 20 minutes vacant so we would be confused? That's it. Don't you think it's strange? If you encounter such things, it is more reasonable to call the police or the ambulance. She could have grabbed White Rabbit's cell phone and used it to call an ambulance, just been like, that's all I was doing. Or since you are in the school, you will probably run to Staff Office for help. However, Queen of Hearts didn't choose to go to Staff Office. This is where I find it strange. After all, what is the reason not going to the Staff Office? When the case happened, there was no one at Staff Office, but at 1800, when almost no one was around. Wouldn't it be more effective to meet the twins in front of Staff Office and look for the other persons or call someone? Nevertheless, Queen of Hearts went to Student Guidance Room as if she knew Mr. Caterpillar would be there. Stop it! A weakness that she wanted so much to remain a secret, a truth she could even devastate the crime scene to hide. No! If you try to combine all the parts and think about it, Queen of Hearts and Mr. Caterpillar are Alice! Queen of Hearts calls out and all eyes are on her. Queen of Hearts. You really don't need to say it out loud, right? I was surprised that you figure out everything. What, really? Queen of Hearts and Mr. Caterpillar? God, is this true? She has done so much evil. This must be karma. She talking about herself or someone else? She says she, but she said it earlier. Unless it's supposed to be the people whispering and they put it in her color. So, it is real that Queen of Hearts and Mr. Caterpillar are... You're right. Just as you said, I lose. I hate when it doesn't make it clear I need to press something. With a shocking end, spiritual judge for the tumultuous, the bully execution has come to a close. I have solved the riddle and helped Queen of Hearts to get rid of the suspect. Well, can you call it help? Did I take myself as a hero, but hurt people instead? But the case is solved now. This should be the good ending. But what is this feeling? It seems that there is a hole in my heart. Did I not get the good ending? Well, I mean, we're not trying to get the good ending, we're trying to get the true ending. As we are leaving the courthouse, suddenly Prosecutor the Hatter calls to stop us. Miss Alice? Yes, sir? Queen of Hearts wishes to talk to you in private. We're about to get stabbed. With me? Go, Alice. It's okay. Cheshire Cat. Encouraged by Cheshire Cat, I go back to the courthouse again. Just remember, you all saw me enter here. Alice, sorry to ask you to come. Queen of Hearts, I am sorry to reveal what belongs to your secret. That's fine. It cannot remain as a secret forever. I have prioritized my own feelings over a person's life. I was terribly wrong. I have done something a human being shouldn't do. I had been so afraid of it being known, but when it was made public, I feel so relieved. Well, Mr. Caterpillar and I won't be able to stay at this school, though. I shouldn't lie at all, for I am not used to it. When Queen of Hearts says so, she seems to be freed from something possessed her earlier. I'm not sure how old any of these kids are, because part of it makes it sound like they're in middle school, but I cannot tell. Although in Japan, I think that would still probably be legal. Well, you have something you want to talk? Just relax. I'm not going to condemn or blame you anything. On the contrary, I am grateful. Thank you. I didn't tell anyone, but I hope you can listen to me. Will you do me the favor? Yes. So Queen of Hearts begins to tell. Oh, look at this artwork. Silhouettes. My grandfather had died very long time ago, so my grandmother, my mother, and I lived together, all three of us. Looks like someone is very unhappy. My grandmother has used my father's death to get close behind my mother, and my mother just obeys her. I grew up seeing the way my mother lived and decided in my heart that I would forever resist unfairness and wouldn't follow what people say. Nothing good will come out of being obedient, because the stronger will always rob from the weaker. But my own mother cannot understand me. She believes that if she only pays enough efforts and endures as much as she could, one day my grandma would recognize her. If I disobey my grandmother, she would take it out on my mother. My mother, not able to go against her, would turn to discipline me. I didn't do anything wrong. My grandmother is the one to blame, but my mother wouldn't help me. So I stopped to have any anticipation towards my mother. I also stopped trusting others. I'm the only one person who can protect myself. I don't bend over to seniors if they are not reasonable. I won't be a slave like my mother. I have been like this since I was a child. Is that young Queen of Hearts? What is this red shadow? Even though adults would advise me being more socially diplomatic, but when I thought of my mother, I just can't. After I entered junior high, the relation between junior and senior became strict. That would make her like 14 or so. Not surprisingly, I was noticed and treated as a problem by seniors and teachers. When I was a first grader, I was called to gymnasium when no one was there by some seniors. Do you know why? A first grader needs to wear white socks. Wearing loafers is being conceited. It is more common sense to wear plain white sneakers. Don't wear a watch better than seniors. Things like that. I sneered at them. What kind of stupid rules are they? There are no such school rules about what a first grader should do. If a newly enrolled student was surrounded by several seniors, he or she would probably just obey out of fear. But I talked back to them. Then they made me take off the socks and shoes and told me to go back barefoot. I refused to do so, and several of them held me down and threw away my watch. I was outnumbered, so I used all my force to resist. Then, I think you can imagine what happened next. Seniors were yelling. We were kicked and beat by a junior. She hurt us with violence. Things like this. I was shut in student guidance room as always and listened to the preaching of teachers. So wait, they did all this horrible stuff to her and then claimed she beat them up? I tried to provide some explanation, but no one was willing to listen. I am the only one to be blamed. Why? Those seniors had done such malicious things to me. Most of their parents are the kind that teachers hate the most, the so-called monstrous parents. Compared to my family, every time I was in trouble, my grandmother would be glad that she has reasons to blame my mother. And a mother who never takes my side and regards herself most important. This situation just suits teachers right since they saved their faces. So I thought I would be admonished severely, just like before. I told Mr. Caterpillar, who came to the student guidance room rather sarcastically. I said, I am so sorry for you, working late for this kind of unpleasant role. He then replied, I was told by the deputy head to scold you, but I changed my mind. I won't be able to go home earlier anyway. Instead of returning to staff office, nagged by the deputy head, it would be more interesting to listen to what you got to say. It's not something a teacher should say, but Mr. Caterpillar seems to understand me. He said it is normal to force a novice teacher to work late. We talked and I felt so much refreshed that was the first time I feel close to an adult. That was the start.
When you were in first grade?
I mean, I guess as long as you're just getting along and not doing anything else. Let's not Cardcaptor Sakura this. So this is how things began. Do you know this? There are some schools actually not forbidding teachers and students to have a relationship. It's unspoken agreement. We morally think it is a wrong thing to do. Even though if it came to light, sometimes there would be punishment. Anyway, I did tell Mr. Caterpillar my feeling, but he didn't consent to it. He said we are teacher and student. Good. Then Queen of Hearts and Mr. Caterpillar are not lovers. Something like that. We are not dating, but we do have some connections in private. Of course, we tried to hide it, but White Rabbit found it out. As you said, White Rabbit transferred the messages and photos to her own cell phone. I have vowed not to yield to unfairness. But when I think of what kind of trouble this would bring to Mr. Caterpillar, I cannot resist it as I always did. So White Rabbit did threaten you, but why? What did White Rabbit request from you? I was indecisive if I should tell or not, but I think I should let you know. I don't know if you will believe me, but I'm going to tell anyway. White Rabbit told me, please bully me in front of the class. I would delete your data if you do so. What?
I knew it. She's trying to rose us. Trying to make us feel sorry for her.
Thank you so much for the birthday present.
Was that March Hare?
You are welcome. To receive a birthday present from Alice, I am so glad. I will treasure it.
Really?
I am glad you are happy. What is it? Can I open it?
Of course.
Okay. Wow, gloves.
Right? You always wear them, don't you?
Great, thank you. Look, do they look good?
Of course, they should look good on you. I chose the color.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you so much. I won't get dirty with these. Okay. Let's go home then. Right. We both don't want to go home, do we? Let's go to the park we always go. Let's do it. The dream I had just now.
I wake up from the position of facing down. It's the classroom as always. Is this after we talked to Queen of Hearts? I'm not sure anymore. I raise my face to see Cheshire Cat. And Mr. Caterpillar.
Mr.
I cannot understand the situation now using my half-asleep head.
Queen of Hearts was going to be executed as a bully, using the gloves to operate the cell phone. Queen of Hearts and Mr. Caterpillar. At the court.
Wow, I'm so sorry. I lower my head abruptly as if I'm going to hit the desk. Raise your head. You didn't do anything wrong.
But...
This will happen later or sooner. I am the one to blame. I have been wondering why she was not so cheerful as before. Even if I asked her, she just told me not to worry. I have made a lot of troubles. I never thought things were going like this. I am disqualified both as a teacher and a man. So the person who was with Queen of Hearts at Courtyard was... Queen of Hearts and Mr. Caterpillar were there together. That is why Mr. Caterpillar looked so upset at that time. But now she looks quite tranquil. This is all because of you. Thank you. Did I do things that can be thankful to? We will go to prosecution and accept the interview. Now we know all the truth. Very soon everything will go back to normal. Well, I can only say such things, but please comfort her. I think Mr. Caterpillar is the only person who can comfort Queen of Hearts. That is probably true. Oh, it seems someone is coming to pick me up. Prosecutor the Hatter is standing at the door of the classroom. Excuse me to cut into your discussion. It's about time. I will go now. Mr. Caterpillar stands up and walks toward the door. But he suddenly turns his head to me and asks with a confusing expression. By the way, names such as Mr. Caterpillar or Queen of Hearts, are they nicknames used among students? Mr. Ishimoto, Miss Maki Akai is waiting. I think Akai is Crimson, because I played Fatal Frame Crimson Butterfly. Okay, see you soon, Miss Alice Kanzaki. As I am standing there, with a vacant look, Mr. Caterpillar and Prosecutor the Hatter... What happened? Chapter 7, Execution of the Bully. Clear. Man, it's
there's more chapters after this, so I don't know what's going to happen. I'm kind of curious. Well, thank you so much for watching. Where do you think it's going to go from here? Let me know in the comments. And I'll catch you next time. Bye.